This unit brings a huge smile on my face. Like Ted said, it's my favorite piece of product that we offer. So I'm honored again to be able to talk about this particular unit. I gotta tell you a little quick story before I get into it though. So this particular unit, let me back up. I've had the honor to actually work within this industry and work with Terex for 20 years. I've always loved this piece of product. It was only recently I had a customer that asked me, why is your digger better? And I said, it just is, right? It's just a good unit. So I had some homework to do. That's why this truck is here today. We wanted to share that. We don't talk often about our Commander Series digger because, as Tony said, it's the workhorse in the industry. It's always been reliable. We don't need to talk about it, right? Well, let's change it up this year and let's actually talk about our workhorse. The reason she's the workhorse, since 1945, when the very first Terex digger derrick was built, our name has always been associated with quality. You can find these units thriving in the absolute harshest environments. Often, this digger will outlast the second and third chassis to be remounted. The reason behind that, if you were to look at our steel section, just where the Commander logo is, that steel section, we call it the engineered box design. This box design has thick plates welded on the top and the very bottom, has side plates teeing it in. That's different from the other units in this industry where it's just a tube. You can imagine how much stronger that is, how much more rigid it is. We do this because it's necessary. We know that booms can be made easier. We make it this way so it outlasts and it does the performance that you need it to do. In addition to that, if the fiberglass section were to be out, you'd notice that that's also a wound fiberglass boom. When you use our process, we can actually virtually take out any of the voids, virtually guarantee taking out all the voids of all the fiberglass in there. So spiraling the boom itself, changing the direction of each one of those filaments, we can make that boom not only stronger, but also have the weight, the ratio that we need to minimize that weight and be able to lift even higher capacities. Now check out our pedestal. Our pedestal is larger and it's thicker. Even above that, we've got those two big plates that sandwich that bigger, even larger bearing. That assembly right there is very big when you look at somebody else's. We need that in order to capture all of that moment from the tower being used if you're digging or if you're material handling and transferring that entire load back down to the outriggers to the ground. That's what you need in order for that to happen. Above those bearing plates, you're going to notice two hinge pins. Those big double-nutted hinge pins, they need to be there in order to capture the movement of both turret wings so the turret wings stay nice and rigid so when you're actually digging with one of our digger derricks, it doesn't shake. It doesn't wobble back and forth. When Dale Putman behind me starts doing his demonstration, keep an eye on that. Our diggers don't move around at all. They're solid. Now take a look at my cylinders here, right? Our cylinders, there's two large cylinders. There's several things they're going to do for us. For one, they're going to give us the lifting capacity when it matters. Meaning that when our booms are flat out or below 0 degrees, and I got to pull the auger out of the ground and it's stuck in a swamp, or for that matter, it's a full flight, and I mean a full flight, right? It's got all the dirt all the way up. Bring it right out of the ground. It should not ever struggle to do that. Our units don't do that. In addition to that, my perspective may be a little bit better, but it's got a trapezoid design. So if you were to look at our cylinders, they're standing like my legs are. They're nice and wide. Again, that's needed for our stability. So when we're doing any kind of material handling, and especially when digging, this unit is rock solid. Now, this unit too, just like that TL product, it's easy to work on. A great example of that, our extension cylinders can be removed right from the back of the tower without disassembling the booms. This saves a ton of time when it comes to maintenance. Now it's also got a bunch of safety features that just come with this unit. For instance, hydraulic overload protection, as well as side load protection. You have the optional load monitoring that is also available for this particular unit. Now the unit in front of us, it's our Commander 4047, and again, it's the workhorse. This particular unit isn't anything special. We didn't play with the gauges, we didn't play with the pressures or anything like that. Dale Putman behind me, our Auger tooling specialist, he's going to show us some of the latest tooling, as well as he's going to show us how this unit performs in the work zones.
Thank you, Justin. I'd like to welcome everybody to our afternoon demo. Today I'm going to be showing you, first of all, let me introduce somebody who's very important. Mr. Jason Julius, sitting on the machine. Perfect. You notice he's got all the air conditioning and all that fine amenities up there. We're going to let him, we're going to take your Commander 4047, and we're going to be drilling today with a digger derrick 4-barrel. A 4-barrel is your go-to tool whenever you I've been working on a hole, and the auger will no longer get you any kind of productivity. Keep in mind that Terex company that manufactures drills and manufactures auger tubing. Whether it's hard rock drilling or the swamp and the beach areas, Terex is your one-stop shop for anything you need to get your job done. Today, we're going to do this a little different this afternoon, because all week we drilled 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes during each demo. And everybody's question after demo is how do you get that core out of the hose? Or how you get it out of the barrel? Well, a while ago we were playing around, and in a matter of less than 10 minutes, we drilled all the way through the concrete. So at this time, I'd like to demonstrate to you how you would get that core out of the hose and onto the ground, and keep your fingers crossed. So it's going to come out of the hose. You're going to swing over to the side, and this is what would happen if you drill down to a seam of rock with a rock device. You give it a little shake. Wow, there you go. There's your core. Repass. You're going to notice when he goes to drilling that you don't use a lot of down crowd. Slow rotation, steady crowd. Watch the boom. We call it tail wag. Watch the end of it. You don't see any of this. It's going to be good and solid. It's going to hold straight. No flex in the pedestal. No flex in the boom. Keep in mind what Justin told you. This machine has not been modified. If you ordered one from Terex today, this machine will be delivered in your driveway if you're busy. Very easy to see how he's right through that concrete goes straight on down. Okay, Jason, that's enough. Making a lot of right. Okay, so you notice we're down below zero. Okay? We're going to lift up just like we were lifting the auger out of the hose. And look, over 4 times the amount of drill that you would normally lift, you just sit up with no problem.